Welcome to a holiday cast episode of the Talk Cardboard podcast, a podcast about board games and everything adjacent with me, Elaine, and you.
Me, this is the last one of the holiday cast.
Boo. What are we going to talk about today, Efka?
We're going to talk about a game called Black Forest, which is a place in a country, which is one of the countries where we're holidaying in, Germany. We're going to be nowhere near the Black Forest. We're going to be in Berlin.
It's where the cake was invented too.
Well, actually, by the time they're hearing this, we will be out of Berlin. So didn't line this up correctly.
Anyway. First, though, we've had an email from Isaac. They say, frequently in your videos, you start off by brandishing some enormous box and then proceed to show off the components for what some might argue are overproduced games. To you,
not that frequently, but go on.
To you, how much does table presence matter to a game's ultimate fun factor? Does a strong table presence help rise a mediocre game out the doldrums of obscurity? Does a poor one damn a good game regardless of the strength of its superior mechanics? And might you provide some examples of games where the production does matter and where it doesn't?
Games are toys, so toys are important. I actually, I don't know what is good table. I don't think there's such a thing as good table presence because, what's good to one person isn't good to another. I don't like plastic miniatures, especially when they're gigantic, I much prefer wooden pieces. Or, if it comes to plastic miniatures, I much prefer the stupid hot dog in Hot Streak, than there's a game on my table right now called Primal The Awakening, which is just rammed with miniatures, and it's got these big dragon monsters, and I just think they look kind of naff. They're very detailed, and you can paint them nicely, I'm sure, but I don't care for that. Is
it because you've never seen a hot dog in a game before, but you have seen many dragons?
Yeah, there's something to that, but also I think there is these are meant to be evocations. They're meant to be I remember when we were playing a D&D campaign, and after playing for 10 levels, when I was GMing this, it was a long campaign, playing for 10 levels, the ultimate boss of the first arc of that campaign was going to be a dragon. So the first time the players met a dragon, it took them 10 levels to meet a dragon. And that dragon, I had a miniature for it, and that moment was boss, because it was oh wow, this thing, there's a miniature for it, there's this huge miniature, and I made this cave out of the dragon kind of perches on, I molded it out of putty or whatever and painted it, and
I think it's Fimo.
Yeah, or Fimo or whatever it was, right? That had table presence, and it was special.
And it had grass. It had that fake grass.
Yeah, right.
It was horsehair.
Yeah, exactly. That was special because in that moment, you bring something out, and it's whoa, right? Okay, this means something, right? In a game that's rammed with plastic miniatures, right? And every fight you get another plastic miniature, it loses its specialness to me, right?
So a game like Oathsworn, where you get new plastic miniatures, you don't like that? I don't.
Oathsworn at least handles it with a bit of build up. You have that spacer moment where it's first we do the town bit, and that is a game of its own, right? And because of the town encounters, you're kind of we can make this easier maybe for ourselves or harder. There's an inherent tension within that. And so I think when you do take the miniature out of the box, there is that moment of revelation where it does work to an extent. You're oh wait, after all of that, we have to fight this thing? Come the F on now, right? Ease off, game, right? So there is if you time it well, I think if you put some stakes into it, it can be good. But Oathsworn is not the best example of that, and actually I much prefer the standee version of Oathsworn because it's I think actually neither the standee nor the miniature version do it justice, because if they had flat hexes with like stats and whatever on them. Like that would have been, and like arrows pointing which way and stuff like that. Like this is this body part or this is that body part, right? Like that would have been a lot more functional, right? And easier to read the game state. So I don't prefer either of the versions, but like table presence is good and important because we are playing with toys. It's just like when people do the thing that works on GameFound or whatever, right? Like, because it's like it screams at you from the campaign page, right? It doesn't necessarily translate to the table as well as I think people imagine it will and hope it will when they buy the game.
I feel like you're going to upset a lot of people by saying games are toys.
But games are toys.
But like, they also are.
They're both. They like, that's not... Like, when I say that games are toys, I mean, that's an inherent part of them, right? It's not the only part. There's, like, many facets to a game. They are art. They are entertainment. They are products. They are toys. Like, there are many different things simultaneously. And to ignore one part is to ignore one indelible part of it.
Thank you so much for your questions. We also like getting the emails that just say things like this from Johnny. Love the cardboard interviews for Cardboard and the people who love cardboard. We appreciate all of those sorts of ones too. So thank you for all of those. And if you have anything to say to us, email me, elaine@nopunincluded.com. Let's talk about Black Forest. Can I just read something from the rule? No, it's not from the rule book. Sorry, it's from the back of the box.
Yeah.
It says, the wheels are back. Uwe Rosenberg's legendary resource wheels are making their return 11 years after their debut in Glass Road, 2013. It's so dramatic. Like, it's very dramatic. Did you feel... legendary while you were playing it? Or did you feel the wheels were legendary while you were playing it?
I mean, do you remember playing Glass Road?
No.
No. Okay. So we played it at Rob's house once.
Oh.
Both of us, right? And it's the same wheel mechanism.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You have no memory of it whatsoever, do you?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I was enjoying the company.
Yeah. I think we both felt Glass Road was fine, right?
Yeah? Okay.
And the wheels were similar to Ora Labora as well, because that had the similar resource wheel, not quite the same, but a similar principle, right? There's two wheels and they make resources, and that's the thing. But unlike Glass Road, Black Forest has this whole like board where you travel on and do things. You send a worker to a location. They choose one of the 3 or 4 actions available at that location and place themselves between 2 of them and do both. So it's basically a resource conversion, worker movement type of Uwe Rosenberg Euro game with lots and 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 lots of different power-ups that you get as buildings.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the tenor of the game, right? You manipulate these wheels, which is going to be a pain to explain in a podcast episode, but I will try in a second. You manipulate these wheels, like gathering resources. You then convert them into other resources to build a building, which will give you a special power up and some points, obviously. And then you'll maybe be a little bit better at, like greasing the wheels of resources and buying more buildings.
Greasing the wheels with porridge.
Yeah, that's one of the resources, porridge, right. Okay, so I can't avoid this any longer. I have to explain the way the resource wheels work, right? Basically, the resource wheel is split like a clock. It has 2 arrows, right? And you effectively imagine a clock that's pointing at 8 o'clock. Right?
I'm imagining.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have, if this is a circle, you have 1 small piece of a pie and 1 large piece of a pie.
What? So, no, sorry, it was a clock a minute ago. Now it's a pie?
Yeah, it was a clock a minute. You imagine a pie, right, that has clock arrows, right? Right?
Okay.
Yeah? So
Time pie.
time pie, right? So on this time pie, right, because it's pointing at 8 o'clock, right, you have a small piece of the pie. Imagine like the time arrows, the where the cuts are going to happen, right? Right? You have a small piece of pie and you have a large piece of a pie.
Why didn't you just say like from 12 till 8 and then 8 till 12?
Don't. I'm just.
Okay.
You're making this worse.
Okay. This is hard enough, Elaine.
Yeah.
Please,
right.
continue.
Okay. So you have a small piece of the pie and a large piece of a pie, Elaine.
Right.
Right. You can't have your pie and eat it. So on this large piece of pie, you have a lot of basic resources, right? And as you gain them, you move up the resources along the clock, right? Along the large piece of the pie. So you have meat and wood and
wood pie,
coal
pie,
and there's the ingredients in the pie, right? Okay, right. But as soon as you have at least one of each of the resources, the clock arrows move, right? Both of them move, right? And what happens is that you, by default, lose one of the basic resource. Yeah. And on the small side of the pie, because the clock arrows move, like they move in such a way as to manipulate that of the fancy resources, you now have one extra.
Yeah,
right.
So it moves to fill the gap.
Yeah. So, and this is an involuntary action. As soon as you have one of each, it will subsume one of each resource and make a fancy resource, in this case being glass, right? On the other wheel, it's similar, but instead of glass, you have provisions.
There are 2 wheels,
Yeah. And these provisions are things that help you move along the board, and be better at doing the action that you want to do rather than the one that you're forced to do. So that's kind of the game. You are manipulating these resources. The worker movement game isn't particularly fancy. It's very easy to explain. You have actions in locations. You take your worker to the location. You place them between 2 actions as long as no one else is there, and then you do the 2 actions. If there's someone else in that location, you have to pay them a resource.
But you don't move for free either.
No, you have to spend provisions to move. And thus, you can stuff yourself.
Which I did.
And you need to forward plan, basically, that you will have, by going there, you will make enough resources to make provisions so that you can eventually leave out of there. So you are constantly forward planning. There's also like special locations, which are jobs, which are pay this, that resource, get big bonus, right? And
then maybe what you want, maybe not necessarily what you want.
So it's very Uwe. The part where there are a bajillion buildings that all do different things reminded me of many of his games like Agricola and Hallertau, because in Hallertau they're cards, but there's still a bajillion special abilities, a Feast for Odin, a bajillion special abilities on cards and a bajillion actions, right? Like, so this is very familiar territory. This is also a co-design. It's not just Uwe Rosenberg. The other designer, Tito Lorenz, I believe their input was that movement mechanism and developing the board and stuff like that. Whereas Uwe's input is the glass road bits.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, resources and wheels.
So I did not find Glass Road memorable. I know there are a lot of fans of Glass Road, but I think its one enduring legacy is that resource wheel. Whereas here, it feels like that resource wheel is in a more interesting game than before. Like Civilization and New Dawn had that card mechanism, whereas like everyone liked the card mechanism, but not much else. And then Ark Nova came along and people were, I don't like Ark Nova, but people, there's a lot of Ark Nova enjoyers and people are like, oh, this card mechanism is cool. Well, yeah.
As someone who enjoys Feast for Odin and that style of game, how did you find this?
I think this is a top tier Uwe. I think this is, like if we're discounting Bonanza as the outlier, which is not like the Uwe games, and we're discounting games like Hengist, which is one of those Uwe games where like, oh, this doesn't work, but someone's gonna buy it because it has Uwe's name on it. And if we take, his hits, like Agricola and Feast for Odin and Caverna to an extent. I think Agricola is still a bigger hit than Caverna.
Yeah.
I think this is top tier. I think this is good stuff. This is about the same level as Hallertau for me. Like, I felt like this is good. I like a lot of things in it, and I would gladly play it at any time.
Okay.
But this didn't hit like a Feast for Odin level where but mind you, with a Feast for Odin, it was a journey for me. It wasn't until the expansion that I actually fell in love with it. But like now I regard it as like his best game for me. I love it. I think it's very good.
I'm not aware of an expansion for this game.
No, it just came out. I think
it came out last year, I think.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Essenspiel.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Uwe Rosenberg's games. Did
it do anything for you? Did Black Forest?
You said to me, well, what about Bonanza, like the Outlaw? And I was like, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But, I wouldn't rush to play it all the time.
Besmirching the name of Bonanza here.
It's fine. It's fun. But it depends on who you play it with. Like, anyway, whatever. And for me, this felt very Uwe Rosenberg. Like, I struggle with when there are so many buildings to choose from. And okay, so what this does have is an idea of what those buildings will give you ultimately.
Yeah, there's a little cheat sheet on the board.
Printed on the board to say, okay, well, this building will probably help you make more meat or whatever. And that was good. However, I still get a bit of sort of analysis paralysis in which building do I take, which one is going to be more helpful to me, or what am I going to use more? Can I balance the resources that I'm getting through other things? Like, what are the actions on the board? It's too much for my tiny little brain to compute. And it's not that I don't enjoy it as much as I don't want to be sitting there for ages trying to think about what building to take, A, while other players are waiting for me to take my turn, but B, I'm not enjoying the rest of the game. Like, it feels like the rest of the game is just something I'm doing in order to take the building, which isn't necessarily not true. Like, that's what gives you the points, right? Is the buildings. But I don't know, as a whole, I think I struggle with that a little bit. There were, having said that, lots of bits of this game I enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that so on your player board you have spaces that are covered up by forest. And there are certain actions that you can do which will chop down those forests, effectively removing the token from your player board. So the forest is gone, but now you have more space to graze animals, which happens in real life, right? That's why deforestation is such a problem.
Hogs can't live there anymore because forests have a space for one hog. And you just chopped it down.
This is true.
There's no more room for hog.
But you can have more cows. You
can build pastures in those spaces. You can build pastures, yeah. But that takes time.
It does take
Sometimes
time.
you just have a hog in your life and you need to place that hog somewhere.
But you can also make more. And I can't remember quite what the mechanism is called. Sorry, thematically what it's called. But you move this little glass bead up and up. And then when it's at the top, you get a whole new farmland. Like, I don't know what thematically you're doing there. Like,
you made enough glass to sell it to buy more land.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. So you've bought more land and now, you got more forest again, which you can chop down and the whole cycle repeats again. Yeah. So I quite enjoyed that part of it. And the other part I enjoyed was the way that the actions are placed. So like you said, when you move to somewhere, there are 4 different actions in each space and you can do 2 of them. And you can do them in either order. So sometimes, and you can use the resource to do the other action too, which is kind of neat. It's not punishing in that way, because they're full actions, and then you do the other one. So that's kind of neat. And I enjoyed the way that there was this kind of to and fro, this like dance of, okay, I'm going here, then I'm going back here, then I'm going here again, then here and here, and then and trying to avoid you as well, so that I wasn't going to the same spots and I didn't have to give you a resource, which was always coal for some reason. Anytime we had to give each other a resource, it was always coal. I think because that's what the easiest to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
By burning your wood, chopping your trees down, burning your wood. So that was fun for me. That whole bit, the actual actions that I was doing, and the way that you have to manage those resources, because if you spend one resource, maybe your will move, and now you have no resource to do the other thing you wanted to do. Like, that was smart, and I enjoyed that puzzle aspect of it. I just, again, didn't gel with the whole 5,000 buildings, and you have to choose some of them, but which ones do you choose?
But I feel, okay, so here's where I think this game is really good, right? So first of all, like you said, the action selection is very enjoyable, right? The resource management is very enjoyable. Narrative, there's like a kind of a procedural sense to what you're doing that kind of just makes sense, you know. It's very evident, right? So I think that makes it a very approachable game, right? In terms of like my first heavier Euro, I think this is very good because you have all of these layers that just make sense and are fun to do, right? But those buildings is what really makes the game cool for me. Not because I get that they're overwhelming.
Oh, no, I understand that a lot of people like that kind of thing.
It's not just that. It's that, like, I think, you know, it gives this game legs into the future where it's like you have a really robust base, right? But then, like, the second time you're going to play this game, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that building. Oh, and I remember that one and that one, right? But you can flip some over because there's B-sides to the A-sides, right? And you're like, some are different. Okay. And so, like, that fact that you flip a random number out of, like, whatever it is, 36 or something buildings, right? You flip over only 6. You know, it makes it so that there's never that, like, road path of, like, oh, these two buildings always combo.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. Yeah,
right.
I agree.
So it's a really neat, simple system, right? That makes the game wide and deep at the same time, right? Like, I just think it's just this marriage of everything I like about Euro games of, like, okay, the systems are clean, they're not hard to explain, there's something nifty happening, right? There's an emergent narrative from what you do. And then on top of all of that, like, the game has legs. Now, the validity of those legs is something I cannot speak to because we have very little experience with this game. But like, there's something in me that says, oh, this is something, you know, this could be really something. So I think this is very good. I'm looking forward to playing more of it, kind of exploring the depths of it, you know, But again, I think you need someone equally enthused about that game. If the other players' attitudes are like yours, we're like, oh, this is fine. You know, I enjoyed some of it. I think you need everyone to be equally invested so that you can really kind of test the limits. Everyone needs to push boundaries. And I think that's where the game becomes really interesting.
No, I get that entirely. Like, no shade on the game at all. I totally get that. I love that, you know, there are that amount of tiles that you flip over and replayability and potential for expansions there or whatever, you know, this kind of thing. When you say you need someone who is equally on board, then you need them to be equally on board with all the elements of it.
Yeah.
Like, not just the buildings, not just the worker movement and the way that you do the actions, and especially in a two-player game.
Yeah.
But also how you manipulate those wills, because if they don't like that, if they're used to a game where, you know, you do a thing, you get the resource, and then
you spend it when you want to, right? Yeah.
I think that's a change.
I mean, it's a weak observation on my part because it's like, well, for everyone to enjoy this game, people need to be enjoying this game. You know, like,
it makes sense though. It does make sense. Yeah, they have to know what they're getting into when they start.
I think there are multiple facets to this game, and I think, like, the game really shines when everyone engages with all facets, you know, with equal enthusiasm. That's, I guess, what I'm saying. So it's a very little caveat, and actually that just gets me more excited about it. So I am looking forward to playing more Black Forest. Not so much the Black Forest Gatto. I know you were alluding to it at the beginning of the episode. It's just not a fan. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. I don't like Black Forest Gatto. But I like this game more than Black Forest Gatto. How about that?
Yeah. Is it the booze? You don't like the booze,
No,
do
it's
you?
I just don't like cherry and chocolate together. I don't like
Yeah.
flavoured chocolate. Like, give me plain or caramel or nuts, that's fine. But mint or orange or whatever, coffee or no.
No? Okay.
I like coffee. I like chocolate. I like mint. I like orange. I don't like them in a combination.
I like mint chocolate. I
you
can
do.
tolerate orange chocolate, but the other, like the flavored chocolate, I'm fine with. It's not my favorite, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
You like
know?
them strawberry ones with the strawberry centre?
Oh, with freeze dried strawberries in the chocolate?
No, they're nice.
Right?
Those are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, I guess I like chocolate and fruit, like Nutella and banana pancakes.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I meant the Quality Street ones with the.
Oh, right. Yeah,
the
no.
strawberry-
Again, I can tolerate them.
Oh,
I can
okay.
tolerate them. I don't love them. I can tolerate them.
Anyway, enough about what sweets we like.
Why? We could just talk about sweets forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sweets do you like? Email me. I do like strawberry flavoured chocolate. Anyway.
I think, Elaine, this is the last of the holiday cast.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So if you persevered through the holiday cast, well done.
Thank you.
Future episodes will return very soon, I guess. We'll come back from our holiday having played a lot of games, because even on holiday, we are going to places where we'll be playing games. That's a thing. And if you're on Patreon, maybe you'll get to even enjoy a little travelogue of our adventures. Ooh, exciting bonus episode of Talk Cardboard. Patreon.com/no pun included.
Thank you so much for listening. And with that, why don't you say goodbye, Efka?
Goodbye, Efka.
Goodbye, Efka.